Hey everybody, it's Ryan. Welcome back to How Farms Work. We are at Vesperman Farms in Lancaster, Wisconsin today, and Andrew is on his way with his drone equipment. So Andrew's going to be spraying the corn maze that Vesperman has every year. Not sure for what, but Andrew should be here in about 4 or 5 minutes, and he'll run us through everything. So since we're going to be getting a drone of our own, I wanted to spend a little bit more time watching how Andrew sets his stuff up. Maybe ask him a few more questions, because we are going to be getting our own drone here in a few weeks. So I'm hoping that I can get it soon enough, get everything squared away so that I can start spraying our own fungicide. I would like to do a couple trials on a couple of our fields, so I'm looking forward to doing that. Otherwise, this fall, I'm looking at possibly, spreading grass out in the pasture. In areas, heavier use, traffic areas especially, and possibly any other fertilizer or anything like that if I can get set up for it. Maybe not quite this year, but maybe even later next year. So Andrew's going to be here any moment now, and we're going to talk to him. There he goes. We recently traveled to Boonville, Missouri with Andrew to Agrispray's headquarters to drop off a few drones that needed servicing, as well as pick up a shipment of the latest drones. We also got a quick tour of the plant while we were there, and we also attended some drone training. That should be coming up in a future video, so stay tuned.
Morning, Ryan.
Morning. That thing looks fun. Have you flown this one much?
Once.
Oh, really? I was gonna say, it looks awfully clean.
It's only had water through it.
Okay, cool. All right, Andrew, what are we doing today?
Well, we're out here at Vesperman's where they do their corn maze. And Kyle contacted me yesterday, said the corn's got some yellowing to it. It's not the true deep dark green like we want to see. And he asked if there's anything we could do to give it a little bit of a boost. And so we do have some products that would help in this situation, but the biggest thing is trying to figure out what's going on and why we have any deficiencies out here. So when we're looking at the plants, looking at these lower leaves, you can see that we've got some yellowing right down the main rib of this corn leaf here, which is very typical of a nitrogen deficiency. And nitrogen deficiency can be aggravated by some sulfur deficiency as well. So doesn't necessarily mean we don't have all the nutrients in the soil, but it means that for whatever reason it's not being taken up into the plant like we want to. And one potential cause of that is soil compaction. So we are standing in a corn maze, so you can imagine the foot traffic that goes through here all year. But I'm gonna dig a plant up. We're just gonna look at the roots quick and see what's going on underground. So as I put that shovel in, I get down to about that 2 to 3 inches, and I can just immediately tell that there's a lot more resistance on the shovel. So okay, we do have some compaction for sure out here. I'll dig one of these plants up. And let's just see what the root structure looks like. So not too bad. Plant it a little later. So I'm gonna look at the structure to see a couple things. One thing is, do we have rootworm damage? And we've got a couple roots that snapped off here, but they're nice and white in the middle. I don't see a lot of feeding. There's our original seed. We got a nice earthworm in there that's helping us out.
Cool.
But yeah, nothing that really stands out to me as an immediate concern. So we've just had a lot of water lately.
That's why I was wondering if the amount of water we've gotten would do that.
So soil likes to have a 50-50 mixture of air and moisture in order for the microbial activity to function correctly, in order for our nutrients to be moving like they need to. If you have a heavily saturated soil, it can be difficult for all the nutrients to get up in the plant as well. So we've definitely been heavily saturated. So today we're going to do a foliar application. We're going to give this crop some nitrogen, some sulfur. Potassium is a main nutrient as far as getting stuff moving between the cells of the plant. So we're going to actually put something called locomotive that's going to speed up nutrient movement in the plant. And then Nutrisync Complete, which is going to be just a complete package of macro and micronutrients. and of course radiate. So I've been a big fan of radiate over the years. Radiate helps keep root hairs on the plant longer and adds root hairs to that. So the extra root hairs is going to also help kick this into gear, get all those nutrients in the plant. So a few products that we're going to be putting into the tank mix today. This is the first official flight of the T50. So yesterday I got it out and did some practice flights with it empty. Then I put some water in and sprayed that. We have not had any product through the T50 yet, so I'm excited to do that here today. First job though is we got to get into the controller and make a map so the drone knows where to fly.
Okay, let's get started.
All right, so we've got the RC Plus controller. We're going to power it on. Everything DJI is a short press and a long press of the power button to get it to power up. Okay. All right, so I have my hotspot on my phone. That way I can get my maps in the background. Okay. Now the background is green. That indicates that we're connected to the internet. Okay. So I don't have the aircraft on yet. You can see it's disconnected right there, and then we've got the red indicator up on the top left. We're going to hit begin because we just want a map right now. This is going to show us where we're at. You can actually see the maize from previous years. Makes it really easy to know where we've got to spray. So we're just going to hit this add button. See, we're going to add a field in here, and we're going to add it by boundary points using the crosshairs. So we're going to start at one corner. We're going to hit add, and we're just going to go around the field adding boundary points, and it's going to know that it needs to spray within this boundaried area.
That's nice.
Waypoint added. Then you can zoom in if you need to. Add a point there. Add a point there. Okay, so now this field does have an obstacle. So I don't know if you saw when we pulled in here, there is a bridge right in the middle of the field. So if we can find it on the map, I believe it's right there. If the imagery doesn't show us exactly where it is, we can walk over to that obstacle and we'll see where it is based on where our location is, which is indicated by the blue dot. Okay. What I want to do is I'm going to make that an obstacle so the drone knows it cannot fly through that. These drones do have obstacle avoidance, but I don't like to test it more than we have to. So it'll also speed up our operation by mapping these out ahead of time. Okay. Because I don't want to try to fly right through here. Okay. So that's where we are right now. Add. Obstacle point added. We're gonna go to the other end. The crosshairs are where we're standing. Hit add. Obstacle point added. Come to the other side. Hit add again. Obstacle point added. And go back outside. Hit add. So now the drone knows not to fly within that area. Cool. So field area, 6.26 acres. We're going to need 20 gallon to do this job. So the last thing we want to do, we've created the outside edge of the field. We put in where the bridge is going to be right there. We're going to edit this quick, and we're going to change the way this thing flies. So there are some differences between the T40 and the T50 that I'm still figuring out, but there we go. So now I've made it so it's going to fly north to south. I'm happy with that. We can go through here and look at our route spacing. So about 25 feet is where I want to be. If I go to the advanced, I'm going to do, I could do route only, or I could do route and boundary. So then that's going to do a boundary around the whole outside of the field. For the application we're doing today, I'm not worried about it. If it's going to be a herbicide application, I would do a route and boundary, but route will work for what we're doing. New update, we can do single side spraying. So as you come to the boundary, it's just going to spray the one side there. So we'll go ahead and try that. I haven't done that yet. That's a new T50 option. Route segmenting is moved down here. In the T40 it was over here. So if I want to just split the field and do half of the field, I would segment it down there. But I am happy with those settings. So I'm going to hit save. Just save, I don't need to make a different one, and there is our job ready to go. Next step's going to be to fill the tank, so I'm going to grab my gloves and grab the products and let's get her filled.
All right.
Okay, so in the trailer here, I keep just fresh water.
Okay.
I do a lot of different mixes with what we're doing. A lot of it's actually trials, trying to see if products are going to work. So I always keep fresh water there. If I'm doing a large job, 30 plus acres, we'll usually have one of these mini bulk totes already pre-mixed, filled up. We'll carry that in the back of the pickup and then we'll load off of that. But I like keeping that just fresh water. That way we can use it to clean out the drone, whatever we need fresh water for, we've got it there.
Okay.
So part of a good filling program is you want to fill your tank a third to half full of water before we start worried about mixing anything else in. So I got my jump pack on, get my valves open here, make sure everything's clamped, and ready to go with water. Nice, clean, fresh water here. So one thing we know about fresh water, this is just from a well, not been through a water softener or anything, but water tends to attract hard ions. So a lot of calcium, manganese, copper, iron. There's a lot of hard ions in water. And because of the presence of those ions, we can tend to tie up the products that we're trying to get into the plant. So hard water ions are cations. They have a very strong positive charge to them. A lot of the products that we apply, Roundup is a common one, have a very strong negative charge. And that's why a lot of times in crop, after a Roundup application, we can see a manganese tie up, because manganese is one of those strong positive ions that when we put the negatively charged Roundup in, ties it up in the crop, and we can get a yellow flash in the crop. So this positive negative interaction between charges is a big deal when it comes to crop inputs. And so we want to do something to take care of the water, and especially the water hardness. A lot of the US, our water is exceptionally hard, 400 plus parts per million of hardness. So there's a lot of products out there on the market that people use to try to soften their water and take care of that hardness. AMS is one of the most common ones. The problem or challenge with AMS is it only takes care of the calcium ions in the water. There's over 8 hard metal ions in water that tie up products. So we want to do more than just fix the calcium. So that's why we use Choice Trio. And so over the years of spraying for you guys, if you've looked at your invoices, we've seen a lot of Choice Trio on there. That Choice Trio has 3 modes of action to take care of those hard water ions, which, I mean, when you think about it and you look at the math, that hard water can change our effectiveness by about 20%. So it's like cutting your rate by 20% on everything. Some of those products are kind of expensive. We don't want to tie any of it up. So we want to have 0% tie up. So Choice Trio at 1 to 2 quarts per 100 gallons of water. It's a pretty low use rate. So in a 10 and a half gallon tank mix, we're going to need about 6.4 ounces of Choice Trio. That's the first thing we put in the tank.
Okay.
So we got 8 ounces right here. I'm going to go between the 4 and the 8. There we go. And I know that's clean. I can actually take this filter out, put it in there.
So how do you
Let that do a shot.
agitate the tank?
It will be, I only filled it half full.
Okay.
So as I put the rest of the water in, it's going to agitate. But the Choice Trio going in first, it's already doing its job. It's already starting to act on those hard water ions.
Okay.
So the Choice Trio is first. The next thing is any fertilizer components. So a couple of the main ones we're using today, locomotive. So this is going to speed up all the nutrient movement in the plant. It's mostly a potassium solution. Does have a little bit of nitrogen in there as well. So we are going to go and this is a nice clear product, you can see.
Yep. Right
in the jug. So we are going to go with 2 quarts per acre. So we know that this jug is going to do at 1 quart per acre, it's going to do 10 acres. 2 quarts per acre is going to do 5. So we're going to put the whole jug in here. Because I do believe the nutrients are out there in the soil. We just need to get them up into the plant.
Okay.
So when we were out there in the field, we talked about Radiate. So this is the product that helps with the root hairs and the root growth. It's 2 naturally occurring hormones in the plant. You've got your IBA, which is idiobutaic acid, and your cytokinin protein. So it's a protein and a hormone that just stimulates root growth. It tells that plant, hey, we need more roots, and it makes it happen. So it's a very low use rate. It's 2 ounces per acre. I've been using this for about 4 or 5 years. Just about every time we apply it, we see a benefit in the plant. So
okay.
2 ounces per acre, doing 10 acre loads, so we're going to put 10 ounces in. So right between the 8 and the 12. Right there. And there we are.
So you're only gonna have to fill this up twice?
Yes.
Oh, that's quick. Okay.
Yep. Not even twice, because this will do 5 acres and it was 6.2 on the controller.
Okay.
Now we're ready to power the aircraft up. There we go.
Agrispray is setting us up with a DJI T50 similar to this one. Overall setup took about 10 minutes, and that includes pulling the drone out, charging the batteries, and mixing the tank up and getting it ready to spray. The time to refill the drone took between 2 and 4 minutes. In this field in particular, only took just over 1 tank of liquid, which for being 6 acres went by very, very fast.
reason I usually do it is just cumbersome to people unless you have it out. Because it's really not that hard to carry. Look at how I got it from.
That field did not take long to spray at all. So I'm looking forward to receiving our drone here in the next couple weeks. I'll make a video on that. But if you guys are looking for a quote for a drone, you can go down into the link in the description. Agrispray has dealers literally everywhere. So all you got to do is input your info and they'll connect you to your nearest dealer. In our area, it's Highland Ag and Air. And I'm looking forward to doing the unboxing and getting it out there and working. I'm hoping that I can get it out and do some fungicide yet this summer. So be sure to stay tuned. But anyway, thanks for watching this video, guys. Be sure to check out all of our other videos. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Snapchat. All how farms work. And with that, I'll see you next time.